Hello guys, welcome to Select Quest page. If you're a developer, this video is for you. If you're a cybersecurity, this video is for you. If you're an individual that want to know about some certain security measure, this video is also for you. So today we are going to talk about CSP, which means Content Security Policy. Now, Content Security Policy is one of the most used security measures that all developers of websites, app, or software use to protect their website against some common attacks such as cross-site scripting, which is XXs, clickjacking, data leak, and all that. So this is a security measure that every developers must know or must know how to implement so that they can actually secure their website. Any developers or anyone that implement this in his production of websites or application or software, that means that such application or software is about 80% or 90% secured from some certain kind of attack. So how are we going to implement this? So let me first talk about the content security policy. So this policy now that we are trying to implement, and we implement it on the header of every website or every software or every application. So what this thing is doing here is just to protect against kind of attack that hackers or bad guys can use to hack into our website. So now they can hack into our website using SSS, which is cross-site scripting. Now, when we say cross-site scripting, it simply means that hackers can actually go into our website and they will see an input box where they can type something. So they can just implement cross-site scripting attack, which is XXs attack, meaning that they can just implement, they can do a pop-up that will show that this website has been hacked, or they can put any other form there, they can put any other thing there that the real owner of the website did not put there. They can put it there, and they can also use that to divert people's attention or to blackmail that website. Imagine you open Amazon today and you just see a pop-up that shows that so website has been hacked. How will you feel? You feel like so you feel scared, abi? So meaning that they can use SS attack to do such a thing. They can also use clickjacking. Clickjacking simply means that the hackers or the bad guys, they will load your site, they will load it inside a frame. So inside that frame now, anybody that click on that frame, they can divert those customers to another page. For example, now let's say I'm on YouTube, I'm watching a video, so I saw a video that I like and I click on that video. So instead of it to open that video and to view it or to show me, then it just take me to another website entirely, or it is showing me another video that is different from what I actually click on. So that's what we call clickjacking. It means that my click has been jacked by what? By the bad guys. So let's talk about different organizations that clickjacking has actually affected. So one of the famous application or famous websites that clickjacking has been affected is Instagram account takeover in 2016. So Instagram hackers trick users into clicking a fake details, and what they go on that fake detail is that you just see a pop-up that will say see who view your profile. So people will feel like, okay, let me see whether if I click it, I'll see who view my profile. So they'll just click on it. Before they know, they take over their account. They will not know that that thing is just a trick for them to take over their account. Now, why was those hackers able to do that? They were able to do that because the Instagram account as at then did not implement one of these security policy, content security policy, which is frame source. So it did not implement it very well. So that was why hackers was able to use that on their application. And as a result of that, during that time, some people were trying to neglect Instagram account. So, but later on, after the thing happened. So Instagram later patched their app. And how did they patch their app? They enforce CSP policy, which is content security policy. This content security policy, they implement it, which is frame source. They implement it to serve, that is Instagram.com, blah 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 blah. So that is what they did to do that. Another popular organization that was attacked because they did not use content security policy is Facebook. Facebook in 2011, some hackers hijacked Facebook like button. So what they did on that like button is that they embedded an iframe under the like button, such that when somebody click on the like button, you understand? So it will just show, click here for a free iPhone. You understand? So the moment they click on that iPhone, so it will now spread their malicious page to their friends. You understand? To the friend of the user. And as a result of that, so they manipulated users in liking their page and in doing all sorts of things. So then the third organization that also fall into this victim is PayPal. In 2014, PayPal too experienced Clickjacking attack, and it's not that they actually experienced it. There was a researcher ascertained. The researcher name is Edidio Romano. So it was one that was just doing his own normal research. They now noticed that on a PayPal app, so there's a particular button, you understand, that hackers can actually frame a checkout page on it. You understand? So by the time they frame a checkout page on it, so anybody that click on that, they can actually automatically add that particular product that they want to the criminal account, to the hacker's account, without them knowing that they're adding it to somebody else's account. Imagine you click on a product on a PayPal, and as you click on that product, you order it, you order to buy it. So you click on it, you make payment. You now notice that everything you ordered was ordered for somebody else, not you. How will you feel? You feel bad. So that is PayPal to experience it, and they were able to patch it using one of these content security policy. So now let's talk about this content security policy and what they stand for. So I've just told you why this content security policy is very, very important in every website, in every application, and in every software. So let's talk about them one after the other. So the first one is this is it. So we have app.use here. I'm using it in my server, which is server.js. So the first thing you implement there is to declare your nouns. I'm still going to talk about this when I get to this part. So, but let's first talk about this. So you put it in your header. So res.set header. So which is content security policy. So after you put it on content security policy, then the first content security policy you are implementing is default SRC. SRC simply means source. Default SRC is just like a general restriction that you are putting on that website. This website now, this particular website now is my own. So this default source that I put on self simply means that I am putting a general restriction such that no bad guys, no hackers can inject scripts, that is, it can be JavaScript or any kind of code into my application. No hackers can implement images or can change the style or color of my website. So that is what this first one stands for. Then we have script source. This script source mainly is to prevent, to enforce scripts restriction. So I enforce it to the extent that no hackers can actually inject any JavaScript malicious code into my application. And what I did here, these nouns is just like I created a random number, a random figures. You understand? So to just like monitor. This is, I say crypto.random bytes 16, that should give me 16 bits. Then you should change it, you should convert it to a string, which is the 64 base. So this one now will create a random number for me. You understand? A random number, so that hackers cannot guess the random, because sometimes they can use this now to bypass this content security policy. So I use random bytes for these nouns so that hackers cannot get it. Imagine if I use nouns and I use random 1, 2, 3, hackers can easily guess that and they can bypass this was script source. Or I use random 2, 4, 3 or random. So this one now will generate a 16-digit code that are random in order. So that is, then we have style source. This style source is for CSS. There's also what we call CSS injection attack. So CSS injection attack simply means that hackers can actually inject some kind of inline CSS into your website such that they can use it to deface your website. You can change your background, you can change color, any kind of thing. So I also use this and I set it to save. This save simply means that only CSS that is coming from my website, which is oafinternational.org, that can actually change anything on this my site. Any other thing that is coming from any other source, it will reject it. So that is what this style source stands for. Then we have image source. Image source is just to prevent any images, because hackers can also put malicious image on my website. So this image source, which are set to save, is to prevent them, you understand, from sending any malicious image into my website, because through that image they can also actually hijack my users. People that are visiting my website, they can hijack them, they can direct them to another part, another website entirely, and use them for anything or take advantage of them. So that is the work of this. Then we have frame source. This frame source is to prevent my website from being framed, meaning that hackers will not have access to frame anything that I put on my website. Maybe I put image on my website or video on my website or anything that I put on my website, or even the text I put on my website. Hackers will not have access to it. So I set it and I directed it to only my website have the access to what to do that or to load that. Then we have child source. The child source will prevent any ad. If you are a developer, if you are somebody that you notice that the app you built, you always see different ads from nowhere in that website, just know that you need child source, which is to prevent any ad that is coming. So this one now, in this website, ad can never penetrate into this website. Hackers cannot inject any ad into my website, because any website that hackers can inject ad into the website, they can use that ad to take the users into another site. Then we have connect source. Here now, I am telling my website that okay, this is my website, don't load any data from any other source. Load it from only my website, which is oafinternational.org. Don't load it from any site, because loading text or loading any other thing from any other source, hackers can take advantage of that and they will load any malicious ads into my website. Then we have font. Hackers too, they can inject their own font into your website. You can visit the website tomorrow and notice that the fonts just change, or they can even frame the font in such a way that you'll be seeing the fonts. You understand, the font family, maybe it's Roboto or Cursive or Times New Roman that you use as your font. So maybe the next day you just notice that they have changed the font from Times New Roman to Roboto. So that means they have been able to inject fonts into your website. So to prevent that, you need to set this one as saved, and you can also tell your website that okay, you can get font from here or from this place. So this is from Font Amazon and this is from J Static website. So then media simply means all both audio, video, or anything that involves sound in your website. All those things that you put on your website to safeguard them from any injection. So you need to use media source. So this one now, you are directing it to either YouTube, meaning that okay, I trust YouTube from YouTube, I can get a video if I'm using YouTube API. Then my own video too that I imported or that I put there as a developer, it can get it. Then I can also get images from unsplash.com, because in this website I also fetch image from unsplash.com. Then we have object source. The work of object source is just to prevent old plugins. Sometimes hackers can inject old plugins, all those outdated plugins, they can inject it into your website. So if your website allow old plugins, they will inject it, and through that they can what? They can actually take over your website or do any other thing, or they can canvas your users into another page. Then we have worker source. Now the worker source is just to block malicious web workers. It's just what? To block malicious web workers. Now, what are malicious web workers? Malicious web workers are like JavaScript code that run in the background. So this malicious web worker, they will not run. You will not see them. They will not be showing on the browser. They work on the background. And when they work on the background, then they will run in such a way that they will not affect your browser, but they will do their work. They will do the kind of work that you want them to do. Now, what are the work they are going to do? Okay, example of them is there's what we call cryptojacking. Cryptojacking simply means you visit a crypto website, you click on the button. As you are clicking on the button, it will look as if the button is not clicking. To you, the button is not clicking, but behind the scene, under the button, something is running. And what is running? It is opening, or it is accessing your wallet. And as you click one, you try it. First one, we say, okay, authorize. Second one, accept or confirm payment. So the moment you click it, 1, 2, it will just, before you know, they will just withdraw all the money in your account. That is cryptojacking. So they can use it for cryptojacking. So to prevent that on your website also, you need this. Then we have, so in the next, maybe in the next video, I will talk about cryptojacking. I will talk about this very well because it's a very broad aspect. Then we have base URL. Base URL, its own work is just to prevent bad guys from changing your base URL. Like my own URL now is oafinternational.org. Hackers too, they can manipulate, they can change this URL into another one such that my users will not know. So to prevent that, I use base URL, which is safe, meaning that don't accept any URL from anybody. It is only me that I'm using it. Then we have form save. This one is used for websites that have form on them. So any website that you need to, like somebody need to fill a form or somebody need to input a form, so we have form there. So this form now, I directed all the form that is on my website, their submission, I directed them to only my website. I'm not directing it to another page or to another place on my website, because hackers, they can direct any form on your website to their own website or to their own page. So then the last one, we have frame ancestors. Now the frame ancestors, its own work is just to prevent any kind of attack, that can come from framing. So it will prevent any kind of frame, like hackers will not be able to frame any part in your website. So this one is just like a double wall protection to protect your website. So that is that about content security policy. So this policy must be implemented by all developers in order to protect their website. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about the worker source, which is malicious web workers. So I'm going to talk about it in full details, and how cryptojacking, how to check if your website has a cryptojacking and all that. So thanks for watching. God bless you. Stay blessed. One love.